2024 is going to be absolutely insane. On this list, we are going to look at 44 upcoming games you should get excited about. And I'm sure that a lot of the games on this list are not on many people's radar. I divided this list into 3 parts. Games we have a release date for, games that should come out this year but we don't have a release date yet, and games I really hope to come out this year. What are some games you are excited about? Let me know in the comments. The first game coming out in 2024 I am really excited about is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This 2D action Metroidvania features fast-paced and slick-looking combat and a beautiful art style. You can make use of time manipulation and an extensive moveset to explore this fictional version of Persia. If you're a fan of Metroidvanias and 2D action platformers, you should keep an eye on this. The next exciting game coming out in January is Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. Personally, I never played a Yakuza or Like a Dragon game, but I know you guys like this series, and this game looks really cool. This might get me into the series. If you played the beloved Yakuza Like a Dragon, this sequel is a must-play for you. February starts off really good with the long-awaited Granblue Fantasy Relink, a game we've all been waiting for 7 years now. This action JRPG will feature 25 playable characters, epic boss battles, online co-op for up to 4 players, and of course a story. I can't wait to dive into this game, experience this fast-paced combat, and have fun with my friends. If action JRPGs are your thing, you should check out Granblue Fantasy Relink. Unless you plan on playing Persona 3 Reload, then you don't have time for Granblue Fantasy, because this release is just one day after. Again, I never played any Persona games, so I'm really hyped to dive into this series, and I think this remake could be a great entry point. The Persona series is beloved for its fantastic characters and engaging turn-based combat system. Persona 3 Reload is a must-play for every JRPG fan. Helldivers 2 is a third-person co-op shooter. Your squad's main goal is to deal with alien bugs on several planets. Communication with your teammates is key to surviving enemy hordes. Honestly, this usually isn't something I would be hyped about. But man, Helldivers 2 looks so much fun. I hope I can gather some friends and squeeze that game in between all the other great releases. Like Ultras, for example. This weird psychedelic Metroidvania is set on a space-drifting alien Uterus, and I'm really looking forward to exploring this unique world. If you know me, you're aware that I love my Metroidvanias. Ultras promises to be one of the most interesting I played in a while. As a Metroidvania fan, you don't want to miss this game. I mean, come on, I don't really need to say anything, right? Well, I do it anyway. I am beyond hyped for this game. 7 Remake absolutely blew me away back in 2020. And I am so excited to see what Square Enix does with the story in the sequel. I expect answers to all my questions I have for almost 4 years now, so of course my anticipation level is easily over 9,000. And the combat, the characters, the world, I can't wait to suck it all in and live in this world for like 60 hours or so. Are you looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Let me know in the comments. In Unicorn Overlord, only the name is weird, but the rest looks stellar so far. This is a tactical fantasy JRPG with, from my understanding, an open world you'll be able to explore freely. Combat seems to be separated between tactical maneuvers on the overworld and turn-based battles, which I find really intriguing. I feel like tactical RPGs are experiencing some kind of renaissance, and Unicorn Overlord has the potential to be something unique and a standout title in this genre. While I wasn't really into the first Dragon's Dogma, I know most folks who played it loved it. At first glance, Dragon's Dogma 2 looks to be more of the same, but I'm all for it. The action combat system allows you to grab onto big monsters, climb them, and then get the advantage by attacking a spot you wouldn't otherwise reach. If the world and story can match the quality of the combat, we can expect a fantastic RPG experience here. This PS5 exclusive open world samurai RPG developed by Team Ninja has been on my wishlist since it was announced. Rise of the Ronin promises a dark story set in feudal Japan, interesting combat with katanas and firearms, and a beautiful world to explore. Honestly, we don't know that much about this game, but if you like Ghost of Tsushima, this might be worth checking out. Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is one of the most anticipated indie JRPGs ever. And for good reason, because some of the folks who worked on the original Suikoden games are working on this. Ayuden Chronicles is a spiritual successor of Suikoden, where you'll be able to recruit 100 playable characters to join you in a traditional turn-based combat system. The fantastic art style is just a cherry on top and makes this game one of the most anticipated of 2024. No Fate to Gaming list with at least 2 Metroidvanias. At least, I think it's one. Well, whatever it is, it looks super fun. The trailers for Tales of Kensara Zao already showed slick combat, fast and stylish movement, and a gorgeous 2.5D art style. If you love these 2D action Metroidvania-like games as much as I do, I'd recommend you add this one to your wishlist. The last game on this list we already have a release date for. Black Myth: Wukong got a lot of attention for its beautiful graphics when the first trailer dropped. Since then, the developers showed with each new trailer that this game is one of the most promising Souls-likes in a long while. Personally, I'm super hyped and really excited to get destroyed by some Chinese mythical creatures. Okay, onto the games that don't have a release date yet. First up, we have Crypt Custodian. This is the next game by the brilliant solo dev Kyle Thompson, the creator of 2022's fantastic Islets, which was in my top 10 games of that year. So yeah, I am excited for this beautiful Metroidvania to take over my heart. We can expect some nice looking graphics and animations, a charming cast of characters, and some Metroidvania excellency. Very high on my list of most anticipated games. Metaphor ReFantazio is made by some of the devs of Persona 3, 4 and 5, so that alone should get most JRPG enthusiasts excited. The interesting setting and art style won me over instantly, and the blend of action-based and turn-based combat sounds really intriguing. The trailers showed so many cool elements I can't wait to discover whenever this game releases in fall of 2024. The announcement of Visions of Mana was a huge surprise, and a pleasant one for sure. The next game on Square Enix's Mana series features a really nice looking action combat system that looks way more dynamic than that of the last two entries. We can probably expect a light-hearted fantasy story and some magical places to discover. Visions of Mana should be on every JRPG fan's wishlist. Nine Souls is one of the most interesting indie games on this list. It's a hand-drawn 2D action platformer featuring Sekiro-inspired deflection-focused combat. The setting is a lovely blend of cyberpunk and Taoism, which couldn't be more nice to look at. If you're a fan of difficult games, you should add this to your wishlist, or better, play the demo available on Steam. It's so good. Gestalt Demon Cinder is a pixel art steampunk Metroidvania with RPG elements. The devs promise a rich story full of twists and slick combat with melee and range attack options. I played the demo of this, and I can confidently say that this is going to be a high quality Metroidvania, and personally, I can't wait to dive into it. Oh look, another Metroidvania, but I can't help myself, it's one of my favorite genres. Earthblade is developed by the same people who made Celeste. On Steam it says, Earthblade's lush pixel art world offers seamless exploration, challenging combat, and countless mysteries to pick apart. If this is anywhere near as high quality as Celeste, then we can expect this to be one of the next Metroidvania hits. Dungeons of Hinterberg is an RPG heavily inspired by The Legend of Zelda, and it's set in the Austrian Alps. You can talk to villagers to learn new skills like magic that summons a snowboard, explore a nice looking world full of puzzles and secrets, and fight monsters in some intense looking combat. I have a feeling that this could become one of 2024's biggest surprises. Between all the great games coming out in 2024, there's also a time-consuming MMORPG waiting to be released. Blue Protocol is developed by Bandai Namco and looks incredible so far. I actually played a closed technical beta test, and while I can't share any details about what I play, I can say that I really liked what I played thus far. If you're into MMORPGs and actually have the time to play this, you should keep an eye out on Blue Protocol. This game was originally planned for a 2023 release, but got pushed to 2024. Suikoden 1 and 2 Remaster revives the 1995 and 1998 classics and bring these two underrated JRPGs to modern platforms. We get quality of life improvements such as autosave, fast forward options for combat, and more. If you're like me and haven't played the original games, this is your chance to pick these up. Mariachi Legends describes itself as a side-scrolling beat-em-up with vibrant Mexican culture, fast-paced combat, exploration, and platforming. Sounds like a great mix to me. Although Halberd Studios' last game 9 Years of Shadow didn't really meet my expectations, Mariachi Legends looks really promising. I just hope it's more of a Metroidvania rather than a side-scrolling action game, but we have to wait and see. Songs of Silence is a game that combines really cool elements to a unique genre mix. Progressing the campaign happens on a world map in turn-based mode. Here you can explore and enhance your kingdom. Combat, on the other hand, happens in real time in a separate area. This mix, combined with a gorgeous art style, is really promising. If you're interested, check out the demo on Steam. This next game also has a demo available on Steam, and it's really cool. Threadless, The Wrath of Rifson is a turn-based RPG with a lot of rhythm game elements. Skills you use in battle require perfectly timed inputs, and the protagonist is equipped with musical instruments as weapons that all come with different abilities. I think this is one of the most interesting indie RPGs to come out in 2024. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is a remake of the 2004 original, and it looks really charming. Personally, I haven't played a single Paper Mario game, but I'm looking forward to diving into the series with this one, and see what everyone's talking about. Faerun Fragment Isles is a game heavily inspired by The Legend of Zelda. The focus is more on the puzzles than on the combat, and I think that's actually a good idea. I like to have a game with a lot of puzzles that really challenge me. This looks like a charming and cozy game that I can't wait to squeeze in between all the big titles this year. Sword of Convallaria is a tactical turn-based JRPG with beautiful pixel art and gorgeous animations. The story can be influenced by the decisions you make, which is always a nice touch, and there's also a bunch of characters to recruit, which all sounds quite promising. The best thing? Hitoshi Sakimoto, the music producer of Final Fantasy XII and Tactics, is working on this one too. So, Sword of Convallaria could become a surprise hit in 2024. Blade Chimera is the next game by Team Ladybug, the devs behind the Record of Lodoss 1 Metroidvania from 2021. This one's also a Metroidvania, set in a cyberpunk world. The protagonist is equipped with a shape-shifting sword that can interact with the environment, which sounds quite nice and is probably going to be the main way for ability gating. If combat is as fun as it looks so far, I can't think of any reason for a Metroidvania fan to not check it out. Yeah, I know, another Metroidvania, but this is the last one, I promise. Moadra is a dark sci-fi Metroidvania, which seems to be heavily inspired by the Alien movies. I really liked how dark and gloomy everything looks, and that this game doesn't shy away from showing its inspirations. Yeah, this one's interesting, and I can't wait to dive into this unwelcoming world. Sandland didn't get a lot of attention so far, but I'm actually excited for this. Not only does the character design by Akira Toriyama looks perfect, the gameplay actually sounds fun too. We get to explore a desert world, recruit our own crew, fight a bunch of monsters, and build our own vehicle for exploration. I mean, this sounds cool, doesn't it? This usually wouldn't be the type of game I put on my wishlist, but as I tried to expand my taste in games, I saw Airborne Empire and something about this really caught my attention. This is an open-world city-building simulator with RPG elements. Sounds crazy, but also sounds exciting to me. This could be exactly the weird genre mix I need this year. We haven't really got that much information about Etheria Restart, but nonetheless, this looks kind of interesting. This is a turn-based action RPG set in a virtual cyberpunk world and the real world. We will switch between these worlds to solve some mysteries happening inside the virtual world. I mean, I like turn-based games, I like JRPGs with an anime art style, so of course this is on my list. Before we get into the games I can imagine to be released this year, there's the last one with a 2024 release window, and that is Star Wars Outlaws. Honestly, I'm not the biggest Ubisoft fan, especially because they refuse to give us a new Rayman game, but Star Wars Outlaws actually looks really cool so far. The idea of traveling from planet to planet as a smuggler, or whatever, is great. I just hope that Ubisoft manages to create an interesting world this time that is actually interesting to explore. Okay, now to the games that don't have a 2024 release window, but I still think or hope that they come out this year. First, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Remaster. I mean, the first one came out a year ago. Now Nintendo just needs to release the other two games with a year in between them. I think this is likely that we get this. Also, Hades 2. The first game is absolutely incredible, and if I remember correctly, the devs made some hints that we get this sometime in 2024. The indie RPG Sacrifier, which has been on my wishlist for quite some while, was originally planned for 2023, so I think the chances to get this in 2024 are very high. East 10 Nordics already released in Japan in 2023, so there isn't really any reason why the rest of the world would need to wait longer. I'm sure we get this year. Dragon Quest XI was released over 6 years ago, and since then, we've got a bunch of spin-offs. So, Square Enix, it's time to finally give us Dragon Quest XII. Oh, and Square Enix, while you're at it, what about the Dragon Quest III remake? I think it's likely that we get this year, since Square Enix releases remakes and remasters all the time. and this is one of the few we already know of that is in development. So, fingers crossed. And another game with Dragon in its name. I really hope we get to play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero this year, because usually there isn't that much time between releases of Dragon Ball games. And it's time for us to get back into the golden age of Dragon Ball games. Now to one of my most anticipated games right now. Constance is a Metroidvania inspired by Hollow Knight, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You can play a demo on Steam and fall in love with it right now. There is no indication that this will be released in 2024. I just hope it does, and wanted to talk about it one more time. Crowsworn is another one of these indie Metroidvanias that we've all been waiting for years now. The only reason I believe this will be released this year is that it would be absolutely ridiculous if we would have to wait longer. Which leads us to Silksong. I mean, I hope this will be released this year. There was this Xbox announcement a few months back that showed a graphic saying all these games will be released in the next 12 months, and Silksong was on it. Well, it showed a 2023 release, but that also means that the devs believed at one point that a 2023 release is possible, so maybe that's an indicator for an early 2024 release. Let's wait and see. So there you have it, 44 upcoming games you should be excited about. What are some games you are really excited for? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I would highly appreciate it if you liked, shared and subscribed. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.